Hello, hello, and welcome back to Minotaur Hotel. So we're still hanging out in the hinterlands. It's all cute, right? We're having the times with the best duo in the game. It's all good.
Don't talk to yourself like that, boss. I mean, you're saying you can't do good, but I'm here.
His voice. Never had those deep, nasally ramblings been so gentle as they were then. Don't you fucking talk to me like that. I don't need you to.
If it weren't for you, I'd still be homeless and without this charm. What'd you think would have happened to me then, huh? If you need proof, you can do right. Just look at me, damn it. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me. Nobody's ever given me a chance before. Fuck what your dad thinks. Even if we don't find the hotel, you can tell him you at least found the Minotaur. Come on, that ought to be worth something.
Where's this goddamn bumpkin learn the exact right shit to say to someone like me? A tiny smile stretched the corner of my beak. I turned towards the window to hide it, rubbing at my eyes and hoping he'd think that was just fatigue I was wiping away. But when I turned back, there was a warm little smile on his face too. Just don't let it go to your head, kid. Yeah, I guess you're right. Thank you, Storm. I'm glad you're around right now.
Glad to be here, boss.
We continue our drive, staring out our respective windows into the growing darkness. Even if we didn't find the hotel, I at least had found the Minotaur, and just maybe if we looked hard enough, we'd find some of the threads Theseus left behind us as well. Around 5 a.m., when the clouds resemble... Yes, I do remember that. He wasn't up for conversation that early in the morning. As a matter of fact, he seemed angry for a while, as if he could snap me in half if I talked too much. Perhaps some coffee would perk him up. While he drank the Hail Mary mug, I hummed as Ave Maria, just like in the Charles. Then one of the old Greek songs Grandpa taught me. I tapped my feet, then slapped my leg with the rhythm as I went on to something more cheerful. A little swig, the Magnificent in a samba rhythm, a perfect way to start the morning. If I could have remembered any of them, one of the Foro songs the FM radio loves so much would probably have been perfect. Storm gave me the mug back. There were only dregs left, swimming in a pathetic little puddle at the bottom, and hummed his own song. A sharp but irregular rock rhythm, with an off-kilter hiccup before it drove forward headlong. The kid backed it up with his hooves rapping against the tile floor. The one seeming out of rhythm with the other at first, but no, it was just another syncopated rhythm on top. His performance was punctuated with a snort, while a swish of his tail, though. A swish of his tail, though, there. Impressive. My praise seemed to lift his spirits even higher. A Storm mimed playfully a full drum set as hard as he could, flailing his arms and using his mouth to make that sound he couldn't emulate with his hooves. He finished that last solo and then noticed my staring.
You find ways to have fun when you're just sitting in a cave.
I just nod, and sipping what little coffee was left. The people here drink theirs as sweet as syrup. I could barely stop myself from gagging.
Weird as hell seeing a peacock drinking from a mug. How do you even kiss someone without lips?
Big talk from someone who doesn't have feet. The kid blinked.
What'd you just say?
I said you're a feetless peasant. He huffed and grumbled to himself. I waited with bated breath for his no doubt witty retort.
Peasant? At least I shower. How many times have you since we got here?
His hands moved up to cover his nose as he made a show of leaning away from me.
Jeez, I don't even know how to describe it. You smell like a bird, but that ain't a good thing.
You'll have to try harder, lad. I know for a fact I smell just fine. He snorted and looked away from me, to the road in front of the inn, not like he was expecting to see or hear a car coming by, though his ear remained pointed towards me. Just when I was about to get up for more coffee, he turned back and spoke up with a petulant frown.
You didn't answer my question.
No, I'm sorry.
How do you kiss someone if you don't have lips?
Cheeky little shit. Now, that's a most peculiar question. Very invasive, too. Why do you want to know?
Don't start with that. I asked first.
Okay. So, when I kiss, it's not exactly... Beaks won't work well with that, or with a number of things, for that matter. The insides of his ears turn red. And just what exactly are you thinking about, So, I don't. But we still, express affection, just differently. I'm told that nuzzling someone who has feathers is very relaxing.
I doubt that. Who would want to show their face in your stinky feathers?
My feathers smell like sunshine and grain. Yeah, who would indeed? Awfully concerned with my scent, aren't we? Aren't you?
Come again.
That's the second time within a minute that you've brought up how I smell. Must have made an impression, He shot up to his hooves, stammering as the red in his ears spread under his black fur to his cheeks.
The only thing that made an impression is that if you're not gonna shower like a normal person, I'll drag a fucking bird bath into the parking lot to take care of your fucking stench. Speaking of, give me 20.
Without waiting for me to continue our exchange of barbs, he ran back into the room to shower. Good job. He probably thinks you're a sick fucking pervert now. I'd better apologize if he'll ever want to be around me after that shit. While I went to pick up more coffee and some breakfast, I found myself humming an off-kilter, hiccuped rhythm. God damn it, Storm. Storm.
Yeah, boss.
Did you add more songs to my phone?
Guilty as charged.
Just ask for my permission next time, please. More song? More song? Oh. Storm stares hard at the map, concentrating on one spot, and then looks up. His ears flicked. I was about to ask what was going on when he beats me to the punch.
You know, we could visit my ma and ask if she knows something about the hotel you're looking for. How about it?
It wasn't a bad idea, really. Who else in this place had who has as direct a relationship to the Minotaur as her? Might be worth a shot.
You won't regret it, boss. Plus, I need to pick something up, and it'll give me a chance to show him what the charm can do. She swears like a sailor, though, just so you know.
I would have guessed she'd lived around Drowned Tapir, but it turned out her home is way past that, all the way down the valley. The trip took us almost 2 hours. The house, no bigger than a cramped apartment, had a zinc sheet had a roof, and was built out of naked brick. There was no front door, just an empty doorway. In comparison to all of the lights blazing down outside, the interior was darker than tar. Storm almost stepped in uninvited, but stopped to adjust his clothes. Then he clopped to announce our presence. Someone hollered back, followed by the drags of a pair of flip-flops. She hauled herself out, a woman in her 40s who looked half again as old. Okay. White skin burned red and wrinkled. A loose curtain of black hair, streaked with silky gray. Sickly gray. That's what that says. Rusted green eyes, dulled and brimming with contempt. Storm was smiling. He brought a hand to his ear, prepared to take off the ear gauge, but didn't. He smiled and kept it up until the corner of his mouth twitched. Waited for something that never came. All he got was those eyes, dripping suspicion. Yeah, what are you here for? Storm said nothing. I coughed, cleared my throat, and that pulled him back at least.
I have to talk to you about your son, the bull one.
She sighed, as if it was only expected we were here for that reason, and waved us in. The inner side of the wall was as bare as its exterior, and from inside I could see holes in the zinc sheet roof. The lamps on the ceiling were burnt out, and the floor had stains in the cement from when it had been mixed, and I even saw a chicken running out the backyard as we came in. But the living room had a flat-screen TV. Okay. The only light come from the crucifix above the TV, and from yet more holes in the brick wall, made with Storm's horns, one might assume. The dining table was made of formica? What is that? Formica? With chunks missing from the corner. The middle of it had cigarette butts and tobacco stains all over. An empty fruit bowl served as an ashtray.
I am here to deliver a message from your son.
He tried to talk with my accent.
He is going to the capital again, and does not plan on returning.
She stabbed her cigarette out of the table, and then looked to the crucifix, her shoulders slouched. Y'all want coffee? Some crackers and cheese. Some cheese and crackers. Storm accepted. I went along with him. The coffee had more sugar than water, and the cheese had a puddle of oil around it. So, where y'all from? I kept quiet. Storm spun a tall tale about us coming from the capital to do some business with the mining company. She nodded along, didn't ask questions. Then the subject shifted. He asked about her and the family. She was coy, but spoke about her other kids, damned if I remember their names, with an even politeness which only occasionally hinted at the wary resignation behind her reminiscence. She talked about everything but him. No venom, just a tired old woman, talking about or working her bones to dust for a pittance. And then she went quiet. We all did. And then we wore off. I don't know what it was that Storm had wanted to pick up, but he never did. Whatever I could have learned from her, I most definitely had. There was no need to ask about any hotel or any other Minotaurs. Okay. We drove into nowhere in particular. In and out of the village, up and down the shitty roads, while Storm stared at the horizon. I think it was nearly an hour later when he spoke.
She's never treated me that well before.
Shit, kid.
Fucking cunt. Is it okay calling my mom a cunt, sir?
I'm not gonna give you any crap for it. I've said plenty similar things about my dad, so it's not like I'm in a position to judge. He adjusted the AC towards his face and looked away. I drove until the GPS ran out of battery. I got lost and kept on driving. For a moment there, I could have sworn I saw something off on the horizon, peeking from behind a dune. But the engine was getting hot. I used that as an excuse to park by the side of the road so we could have an actual conversation. He clearly needed it. You didn't need her anymore. Just don't need someone like that in your life. Even if it's your mom. You can make a future for yourself. By yourself. Might even be better than this. She won't be following you around and making you feel like shit again. You'll see. I'll get you a proper passport when we're all done with this. You'll go back to school, get a job, and of all that. When you have some money and some opportunities and some friends, you'll see all this bullshit down here doesn't matter for shit. You'll have a life, a family too, someday, a real family, who ain't gonna ignore you. They won't have to deal with your mother's issues. You'll have moved goddamn well past them. People gave you shit because you're a Minotaur, and you still are, but they won't matter anymore. That's a promise, and a binding one at that. Just as real as the magic in that charm of yours. Storm doesn't look my way, but he nods. He snorts and sniffles, and sniffling was drowned out by the car's engine. I decided I'd give him some quiet time as we start driving again. But when we set off, I couldn't see any sign of the thing beyond the dunes. Guess it was my imagination after all. Storm had been tapping his hooves to the rhythm of each pothole we went over when we encountered a roaming cloud of butterflies. The little bastards had moved halfway onto the road, and when I tried to drive around, a handful or two made a beeline towards the car. Storm braced himself, and I sped ahead to get away from the swarm, but a good amount of the things still managed to squeeze their way in, either through the opened window or the AC vents. I pulled over onto the shoulder, and the two of us spent a minute flailing around to get them either out of the car or smashed. Fuck. Goddamn cocksucking vermin. Not the last of them.
Yeah, boss. No buggers are gonna get us to crash the car now.
We drove on, still nothing, but both kept a watch on the distant landscape for some clue, some inkling of progress. At some point during our interminable search, Storm turned to me.
Say, how long do you reckon it'd take me to get a high school diploma?
It's meant to take 3 years, but they may be a school that do expedited programs for people your age. No idea how long it'll take for you to do online schooling, though, if that's an option.
Why the hell would I do it with a computer? I've always wanted to go through high school. It looks so cool in the movies.
Oh, okay. There was so much shit I could have given him at the moment, just to be a cunt. I hope he was glad that I just took a breath and cut right to the chase instead. Okay, we go. Storm must have been feeling a bit auspicious. I can never pronounce this word. Auspicious? Himself. He'd gotten up as soon as I stirred, and even had a bit of a spring in his step. Well, Lola ought to have something without beef or cow product. If she doesn't, we'll just find someplace else to eat.
Nah, boss, you're the tourist, and Lola's the best this hellhole's got. I can suck it up for if need be.
Okay. I think I will end the part here, so I will see you around, everyone.